These are real confiscated prison shanks. I got to see this display at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It was one of the coolest and creepiest displays there, in my opinion.
A vicious attack, this happening at a jail in Southern California. And as you see right here, the entire ordeal was caught there on camera. That new video shows an inmate armed with a knife attempting to stab one of those deputies on your screen.
Yeah, Fox 31's Talia Cunningham bringing us the video and the safety concerns it is raising. Talia.
Yeah, Jeremy, the attack is very brutal and reminds you of something you'd see in a Hollywood movie, but it was yesterday's reality for deputies at a detention center in Rancho Cucamonga. So take a look at this video. That violence unfolded right before 3 p.m. That's when surveillance cameras captured an inmate armed with a homemade metal knife, then lunge out of that cell and try to stab a deputy. You then see multiple other deputies jump in to try to help. They take him to the ground and then they try to subdue him, which they eventually did. So let's back up. So the reason that you see these deputies running to the cell before the inmate flies forward is because they were responding to a stabbing in that cell to begin with. Police say that 25-year-old man stabbed another inmate and they were responding when he launched forward to stab the deputy. So the deputy suffered minor injuries. He is expected to be okay, but this is prompting some major concerns for deputies in jails tonight. We know from 2020 to 2023, there were 236 assaults on deputies in San Bernardino County alone. And the sheriff is commenting on this tonight, saying, in part, quote, "Our deputies work tirelessly to maintain order and provide a secure environment within our correctional facilities. We will pursue the maximum legal consequences for those who carry out attacks in our correctional facilities." And the inmate who attacked that deputy was already locked up for several violent offenses, including murder. He's now facing attempted murder for this latest incident.
Anytime, any moment, somebody can take your life for anything.
All these weapons are made to stab somebody or to have somebody stabbed. Some of the weapons that are confiscated here at Folsom Prison. For example, this weapon here was used on our main yard. You can still see the blood on it. And this was actual called hit from one of the gang members. That means an inmate who we call a shot caller asked an inmate or told an inmate to stab somebody. A lot of our aluminum pieces are found inside our dining room area. They're cut from there. We have plastic weapons that are utilized here. Plastic spoons, styrofoam cups, combs, and Ziploc bags. They're melted down and then they're sharpened. Inmates are very ingenious. For example, here's a weapon that was found in our facility just recently. As you can see, that's a pretty effective weapon.
Gangs in prison are much more intense and ruthless than gangs on the street.
Hello, welcome to Bamm Bamm Raw TV. I'm Bamm Bamm, aka the 411 Giant. And I want you to hit that like button. I need y'all to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know when my next video coming up. On this episode, we're still talking about the knives. And one of the important things to know about knives. Two things, matter of fact. First one, assume everybody got one. Because most people do have it in jail, especially in the federal system. All right. Number two, you can be prosecuted for a knife, whether you use it or not. If that knife is found in your property, anything personally belongs to you, if it's found on your person, you know what I'm saying, you can get 5 years. So now a man go into jail and got for 10 years and he wants to be cool and get out of there. That's a catch-22 situation. Do you want to walk around without a knife? Do you want to be unarmed in an environment where everybody in there is basically a criminal and most people in there is just as dangerous as you or even more dangerous than you? Do you want to do that? The whole thing about prison and the federal system is it's designed to put you in a bad situation. Prison is not, they don't put you in there for you to get a scholarship and come back home a better person. They don't put you in there for you to make friends. They put you in there to get their labor off you, to get their money off you, and they put you in a situation every day where you can be involved in a violent confrontation because it allows them to use their budget to put on their armor and put on their gear and run in there and gas y'all and take control of that. If they don't use that gear within a certain amount of time before the fiscal year come in, then they not going to get a bigger budget. So they need violence in penitentiary. They need violence in order to keep their budget up. If they don't spend but $50,000 this year on tactical gear and everything, they ain't gonna give them probably $50,000 next year. So they're not gonna give them $100,000 budget when they ain't using but $50,000. So they need a certain amount of violence. They stealing out the budget anyway. But prison is designed to put you in the worst situation possible. Your knife is your best friend, but it also will get you charged. You will be charged, especially if you got 10 years or less. If you got 15 years, possibly. Most of the people who got all day or have as much time as I had, we wasn't worried about it. 5 more years didn't mean nothing to us. So that puts you in an awkward situation. That now you in jail, so now you got to have a knife, but this very knife for your safety can cause you to get 5 more years. Like I say, it's like almost like an oxymoron. You need it, but you don't need it because it's going to get you more time. But most people try to find them a good hiding place and everything. But I want y'all to understand that you don't just go in there and grab a knife and think that ain't nothing going to happen just for having it. Just for having that knife alone, you facing 5 more years. If you use that in a altercation, then you're gonna get the knife and the aggravated assault or whatever. So if you have a small amount of time, or if they just want to prosecute you, or if you done damage the individual so bad and the individual is filing a lawsuit or something, if you catch the individual filing a lawsuit, then they're gonna pretty much try to prosecute you to say, hey, we did everything we did to prevent this here, and this is the actions that we took after this here. So now by me giving y'all the stories about the knives, I have to tell y'all that part. I cannot leave that part out because you have to make a conscious decision. As I told y'all before in previous videos, the best weapon, the greatest weapon that you got is here. So you got to use that. And it's a tightrope. It's a tightrope. Like me, I ain't going nowhere with that name. I done transferred to several other penitentiaries, and they done went through my legal work, and they done found a knife in there. I got locked up as soon as I got to Lewisburg. As soon as I got off the bus, they took me right on in the office. Sent me to the shoe. They found a 11-inch knife in my legal work. I didn't care about them finding it. I'd rather be caught with it than caught without it. That was my motto during the penitentiary. That was my motto when I used to be out on the streets, when I used to be slinging, when I used to be carrying my gun and everything. That was my motto then. And that was my same motto in jail. I took my street motto to the penitentiary with me. So as with the knives and everything, but I have to let y'all know that you ain't gonna just go in there and get a knife and they come find the knife on you and they say, okay, well, no problem, inmate number 3060951. You know what I'm saying? They gonna say, hey, listen, write your incident report, and they're gonna send it to the feds, and it's up to the feds where they want to take it up. And then they can take it up and they can prosecute you. So, be aware that there. I did not want to talk about knives and tell y'all about how knives is and how they're used without making y'all aware that you can be prosecuted just for having one on you. So, all right, take that in hand. How do you avoid that? My way that I used to tell my homeboys, find you something that has not been altered. And people have used that to a certain extent now that it's hard to find something that has not been altered. You take a mop wringer, split a dude head with a mop wringer. If you split a dude head with a mop wringer, they're not going to charge you for using that mop wringer because they gave you full access to that mop wringer because it wasn't altered. Because it wasn't altered, then you did not make a weapon out of it. It was already in weapon form when they gave it to you, which means they liable. And if they prosecute you for it, more than likely the person you smash across the head with that mop wringer can sue them. Because they saying, hey, you wrong for splitting his head with the mop wringer. So they wrong for putting a mop wringer in your reach for you to split this dude's head when they know that you're capable of doing that. So they're not gonna prosecute you. It's a 99% chance that they're not gonna prosecute you because that makes them liable. In prosecuting you, they help make a case if the guy wanna file a lawsuit on you. So take all that in hand. I used to always tell my homeboy, find something that's unaltered and use that and make a statement with it. But that's the only advice I can give you about not having no knife. Because me, myself, I was going to have one. But for dudes who got short time and everything, you may want to look around your unit and see something that you can split a dude's head with and make sure you keep your eye on it. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eye on it. And first time somebody get out of line with you, because you ain't going to get to use it but one time, and they going to change the whole, you may never see that in the unit again. They done went to them, you may never see that in the unit again, because once you use something like that, it's out. So you got to find you something, but that's the only advice I can give you concerning not having a knife. And I got to give you the warning that knives carry time. Now, hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in on me, and I just had to get that part to y'all because I can't give y'all half of the story. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to mislead you to believe. I hope that none of y'all have to deal with that situation or never go to jail. But unfortunately, the way the feds dealing with state issues now and have taken them over, we come in contact with the feds through almost every little thing now. So y'all be safe. Try not to go. All right. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. It's Bamm Bamm, Raw TV. Love. Out.
At 6, only Channel 2 Action News is taking you inside a raid of the Fulton County Jail. And this is just some of what strike teams confiscated. Things like drugs, cell phones, shanks, a makeshift hatchet, even a bullet. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie has this exclusive story live from Northwest Atlanta. And Mark, the sheriff believes someone actually used drones to get stuff into the hands of inmates.
And the Fulton County Sheriff's Office says this is some of the contraband recovered in the massive shakedown we're on inside the Fulton County Jail. And a lot of the illegal cell phones, which can go for thousands inside the jail, drugs and tobacco recovered, came into the jail via illegal drone drops. Wait till you see the ingenuity involved, however misguided.
The sound is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing we want up here to do is a massive shakedown.
Sheriff's Office jail strike team struck a vein of contraband quickly in the first zone they hit.
The cell phone and charger found within seconds of putting his hand.
Yes. On the high security 7th floor of the Fulton County Jail.
This has been a high priority area for us with respect to drone activity.
And before Saturday morning was done, men and women normally assigned not just to the jail, but to the courthouse and across the sheriff's office, who had assembled in the early morning darkness and amassed a massive amount of dangerous material inmates aren't supposed to have, but did. Lots of makeshift weapons, including shanks, even a makeshift hatchet, cell phones, sheriff's office says the shakedown turned up 22 illegal cell phones, suspected marijuana, tobacco, plenty of pills, even a bottle labeled as the prescription drug promethazine. Then there are the weapons.
I'm surprised the building still standing.
Most of the weapons made from things stripped out of the building.
From the plumbing shafts to the lighting fixtures.
We had watched as the stuff piled up in that one zone. Where those come from?
Just that commissary kiosk.
What's it turned into?
Charging station.
There's some marijuana from California found in cells. And that's marijuana?
Yes, sir. Through the inmates burning, they'll use, as you can see, exposed wires up in the light fixture, so they'll use that to start fires, and then they will just sit there until they can melt away the plastic. So the reason why now the inmates burn the holes inside of the window is because they're using drones.
We told the story of drones in prisons, but drone drops are now a major factor in the contraband trade at the Fulton County Jail.
Absolutely. Some of them crash landing ultimately with different types of payloads.
15 on right, I'm away in trap. I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
Near the zone, we got shakedown reaction from one inmate.
We ain't had no problem back here. These folk coming up here antagonizing it. We ain't got no problems up here.
The inmate we interviewed on camera earlier this morning, couldn't find a cell he shares with somebody else.
We collected 2 cell phones out of that zone.
You know anything about cell phones?
No, they got no contraband. No contraband, no cell. I'm here away in trap.
In fairness, Natalie Evans with the sheriff's office says there is no way to know if the cell phones belong to the inmate we interviewed, a cellmate, or someone else, and he was not charged with them. I guess this image puts a fine point on the danger faced by staff and inmates here in the Fulton County Jail. The sheriff's office says the jail staff does smaller shakedowns on a regular basis, but the last one of this magnitude was shortly before Thanksgiving. Live inside the Fulton County Jail. Mark Winning, Channel 2 Action News.
Mark, that is absolutely unbelievable. Not only the amount of stuff, but how they're getting it in. And we've been showing you the backstory on problems with drones, contraband, and inmates. Last month, Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie was with the Department of Corrections agents as they raided a drone repair shop in Gwinnett County called Thunder Drones. Agents arrested the owner, Robert Schwartz, and seized dozens of drones. They believe Schwartz has ties with gang members, and those drones were used to drop drugs and contraband into prisons.
Don't come on that chicken, man. That's my chicken, man. Cause you crazy for me?